No, the glare's gone.
Okay.
I don't know why I haven't requested it, but it's bothering me every time.
Is this bright enough for you?
Oh yeah. I'm a
if you want.
fucking nerd. You can turn it off, man.
Yeah, no worries. You can't see us, but we're we're in absolute darkness. We're recording this podcast. It's so dark I can barely read my notes. Except that's not true because I'm using
A backlit
iPad.
laptop.
Yeah, backlit
Or-
fucking tablet.
Yeah.
That's probably going to complain to me for the next 5 minutes because it hasn't been on in a month. What are you doing? I haven't been connected to the internet in like 4 weeks.
Here come the updates. They're going to take so
Yeah,
long.
exactly. Well, actually, Apple's not bad when it comes to that. It'll tell you that, and depending on how you have it set up, there'll be a thing telling you that you've got updates waiting, and then it'll just sit back and go, well, if he doesn't want them, I'm not going to force them on him.
Until I do.
Until I do. I've never, well, I don't know, maybe I've never let them lapse long enough to be
They don't.
forced into.
The apps do.
The apps do, yeah, but they do it in the background.
Yeah, that's
don't
how
even-
they do.
yeah.
No, but the apps will get to a point where they don't support your version of OS.
Oh, yeah.
And will
I love when
hard
that
stop,
happens.
right? And now you have to update the
That's
OS.
that's the phone call or text. Sorry, let's start that one over. That's the text, because it's never a phone call, from my 15-year-old granddaughter going, so, Pa, so the app that I want to run doesn't run on this machine anymore. Guess what I want for Christmas?
Yeah.
Just like my last iPhone. I already had a 10, an X, sorry. And
You already had a Twitter?
no, iPhone X. I'm not on Twitter. Are you on Twitter? Oh,
I
speaking
have a
of
Twitter account.
fucking Twitter and all of those things, thank you very fucking much for enticing me down the fucking rabbit hole that is Reddit. You son of a bitch. but I want to spend a few minutes talking to you about that gong show.
Scolding me. You know, I'm old,
I
right?
managed to
You know.
avoid it for this long, and now suddenly it's like,
Oh,
boy,
no, I can't turn this off. Okay. I get
it's
it.
unreal. It's like
I get it.
So, as an absolute Reddit noob, if you had a few tips that you wanted to share with somebody who's just getting involved in Reddit, what would those be? Or do you even care to
Stop using
contribute?
Reddit.
Stop using.
Stop using it.
I want to learn all the Reddit things.
It's very left-leaning.
Really?
It likes the smell of its own farts.
Well, of course it does.
Yeah, but it's millions of people. So it's a weird microcosm.
Mm-hmm.
So everything every thread that you read that bubbles your guts because it pisses you off, realize that it's a weird community of left-leaning hypocrisy. They're hypocrite, like we're all hypocrites. So you just got to be aware of that. It's fickle. Like if you're going to participate in Reddit and not just consume, it's fickle. Because a lot of subreddits require a certain amount of points to participate.
Oh.
And it's usually more than...
Well, that explains what I experienced then.
Yeah, you tried to comment and you couldn't?
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
I tried to contribute and I couldn't on a music subreddit
Yeah.
whose sole purpose is, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
And it's usually a link to a YouTube video. So I'm like, okay, I get it. And then I noticed that all of the posts followed a very specific format in how the posts were worded.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, I think I got it. And there was I thought, well, let me give this a try. I'm all about sharing my musical ideas and proposals with other people,
Yep.
especially songs that aren't well known. And so I tried it, and it went fucking nowhere. Like I would keep checking in, expecting to find my post in the thread, and it just never showed up. So I thought, I guess I have to earn my way into being accepted in this subreddit.
Maybe if you filtered on new, but if you didn't get a comment or a message from a bot saying that it was deleted or not accepted, it's there somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is there an efficient way to find?
Yeah. If you go into your profile,
Yeah.
you click on your picture and go to my profile, you can
Yeah.
see posts, comments, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. But how would you be able to tell by looking at your post that it actually made it into the subreddit?
If you see it, it's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not
Got
like
it.
a post and then it's accepted. It's posted and immediately reviewed by a bot, and either it's accepted or denied.
Huh.
Generally speaking, not all
Generally
subreddits.
speaking.
Yeah, not all subreddits have bots.
Okay.
You can join subreddits, so your homepage is subreddits that you want to frequently look at.
And I've done that.
But people can see what you are subscribed to. So there are things called custom feeds that are not available for people to they're hidden.
Custom feeds.
Yeah.
As
So if
in
you
you're
consider-
not seeing everything there is posted on the
there
subreddit?
there is. So the point is, if you click home,
Yep.
you will see all of the subreddits that you have joined.
Right.
Plus
A few
ones
other
added
things.
from the algorithm. that
Yeah.
Want you.
Yes.
Oh, if you're interested in this.
Yes, I noticed that.
But you can create custom feeds that have only specific subreddits in them.
Oh.
And those are often used so people can't see ones that you've joined. Like if you have joined nefarious
Okay,
ones
got it.
or interesting
Got
ones.
it. Here, yeah. Look at the subreddits I'm looking at, which you're not seeing all of them because I don't want you to.
Right.
Got it. In case anyone's shoulder surfing or whatever.
They're just spying on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happens to be sitting at your computer when you're not there.
Or no, but I mean, I could, if I know your username, I can see what subreddits you have joined.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's the purpose. Is that other users can't see.
Oh, so once you are using what did you call it? A customized?
Custom feed?
A custom feed. Anyone that's checking you out only sees that custom feed?
Only sees your non-custom feeds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
You're not
And I
using
think
you're not
that's
using
true.
the custom feed like a Finsta. You're using the custom feed like a Rinsta.
Yeah, I don't know what those words are, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think you got the gist. But I'm not absolutely sure if anybody can see the ones, because you can subscribe to users, and then you definitely can. But I'm not actually, because I don't go look to see what other people. I don't care.
Do you tell people what your username is on Reddit?
No,
You
never.
try to stay anonymous.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know what I'm
Right,
doing
exactly.
on there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I got as the gist of it.
Yeah, most people.
Stay anonymous.
Yeah, lots of people have 2 accounts. Yeah.
Is there anything you need to do to your profile to anonymize yourself even more than you already are?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because I've never really looked into that.
No, the anonymity is created simply by the number of users,
Yeah, I guess so.
and the higher risk of being found out is simply the closer to your physical location you post in a subreddit. Like if you start posting in r/Calgary, for example,
Oh, they'll
There's a
assume
chi-
you must be a Calgarian.
so
Well, otherwise,
the
why would
chances
you be
of
here?
you knowing somebody on that subreddit
Right,
are guaranteed.
right,
There's somebody that you know
right.
that participates in that subreddit.
Got it. And I didn't really, I saw the Calgary subreddit and I thought, do I want to join this? And I thought, nah, it's just going to be a bunch of people whining about Calgary, what they don't like about it.
No,
Probably.
it's not.
No?
There is that, sure, but there's also not. There's a,
Like, what else are you going to talk about? Besides the things you don't like.
oh, there's lots of restaurant reviews.
Oh,
There's
really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a
Huh.
community. Yeah, yeah. It's
I don't know.
not just a bitch fest.
Hmm.
It is the internet,
I never
there's
thought
a
of Reddit
lot
as a
bitch
place
fest.
to review a restaurant because you get a bigger audience if you post it on Google or Yelp.
Yeah, but you don't get the specific. Like I guess you do, but you don't get. This is why I Google things and end the search with the word Reddit.
Right.
Is because it's real reviews or it's real information. People that leave Google reviews
Are not always.
leave Google reviews.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
Homogenized.
yeah or
And in
yeah,
some cases even fake.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's often not real, it's misrepresented.
Mm-hmm.
They can be edited or removed.
Mm-hmm.
So can subreddits, but that's not what happens.
Right.
So, yeah, whenever I want to know something in this city, like a good service, I found a good plumber, I found
Oh, really?
a great
On Reddit?
physiotherapist.
On the Calgary subreddit?
Yeah,
or on a
yeah, I posted-
subreddit about services?
No, in
On the
Calgary.
Calgary subreddit.
Yeah. Can anyone recommend a good physiotherapist in the Northwest?
Wow. And was that right in the Calgary subreddit or in a subreddit of the Calgary subreddit?
There's no such thing. There's no.
Oh.
No, it's. Calgary
they're not
is
nested.
the subreddit. No, there's no nested.
Why did I get the idea that Reddits were nested?
Nope.
They're not. It's one dimensional.
/r, yeah,
And that's it.
yeah.
It doesn't
/r
belong
/
to a parent Reddit,
No,
a parent thread or a parent subreddit or whatever.
no.
Okay. See, I didn't realize that. I thought it was I thought you could go down a rabbit hole of like
No.
subthreads or whatever.
No.
Interesting. So if a subreddit is about Calgary, it's going to be about all things to do with Calgary. Everything under the sun.
As
Pretty
long
much.
as the moderators allow that type of conversation
Right.
in that subreddit.
Right. Got it.
Because there is a alternate to Calgary,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called. Fuck, I can't remember what it's called. But it is far more right leaning. Yeah, there's a lot more fuck Trudeau in that one.
Right.
And it has its place too, because they're people who use plumbers and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see because it was created because the moderators started changing the rules, and then there was a dramatic break.
Okay. That's helpful.
Yeah, the algorithm's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Its recommendations are usually pretty good.
Interesting.
You can also block ones that if you're like, no,
I'm not into this. Don't show
I
this to
don't
me.
care
again.
about
Yeah.
fucking Halifax.
Right.
Don't show me this.
Right. But yeah, I started playing around in it. I joined 4 or 5 subreddits because they were topical to stuff that I'm actually interested in.
Yep.
And I thought we'll try those on for size and see how it works. And yeah, it just became like a holy shit. I am standing on the precipice of the abyss that is Reddit.
Yep.
Step away
It
from
is
the
a
precipice.
gaping chasm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it'll suck you in.
Oh,
It's so entertaining
yeah.
and informative
Yeah.
and interesting.
Yeah.
Because you can go from horrible, weird, dark humor stuff to space, science.
Right.
Also, like,
Yeah.
and like
And everything in
real
between.
stuff
Yeah.
posted by like,
The people doing the work.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's crazy.
Well, like the AMA
Damn,
threads.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are fucking cool. To if you're into them.
If you're
the
into them,
person
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
being asked anything.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome everybody to episode 36. Don't have a name yet. I'm sure I'll have one by the end of the episode. Whether it makes it into the narration, I don't know, but I don't. I read something really interesting this week
Oh, cool.
that I found informative, but at the same time, really kind of just disappointed the crap out of me. You know how every once in a while you'll hear stories about, hey, we should build a high-speed rail link between Calgary and Edmonton
Yeah,
and shit like that.
sure.
And back east, they have similar conversations.
Of course.
Montreal to Toronto, or, if you want to dream really big, Quebec City to Windsor.
Right.
And the article was very enlightening with regards to why it's never amounted to anything beyond, hey, maybe we should think about, and then nothing ever comes of it. And I never...
You mean in both spots or here specifically?
in both spots,
Mm-hmm.
but starting with here specifically, the reason why an Edmonton-Calgary high-speed rail line has never seen the light of day as a topic, a serious topic, is because the minute the stakeholders agree to meet to discuss it, the City of Calgary, the City of Edmonton, lobbyists representing all the airlines that serve those two cities, Red Arrow bus services, the freight rail companies that use the existing rail between Calgary and Edmonton, all come to the table and go, how about no? All of those stakeholders, with the exception of Calgary and Edmonton, of course, don't want it discussed because it would eat into their business model and force competition that doesn't already exist. And the reason the City of Edmonton and the City of Calgary have always been against it is because they would rather the federal government give them the money so that they can spend it on C-Train, etc. So in case any of our listeners out there are ever wondering why nothing ever comes of that discussion, that idea, which everybody thinks would be fantastic, because it would mean being able to get from one of those cities to the other in a fairly short period of time without having to deal with all the airport bullshit, never mind the travel time between the two airports and where you want to go, which is typically downtown. That's why. Now in Eastern Canada, the situation is much more complex and always has to do with there's just too many fingers in the pie, and all of the fingers that are making proposals as to what should exist between Quebec City and Windsor are all trying to plan future versions of passenger rail service that won't be so expensive as to piss off the Canadian public and frighten the federal government. So no one has ever proposed an actual high-speed rail solution to that corridor, even though that's probably the one and only corridor in Canada that could support it from a passenger point of view. Instead, all they propose are namby-pamby higher frequency train services, which is just code for we'll have more trains per day,
Right.
but they'll still be as slow as fucking molasses.
Right.
Only the proposals that I've seen, courtesy of that article, make the situation even worse than you would imagine, because instead of wanting to use the existing fairly straight, but still would need to be upgraded, rail lines between Toronto and Montreal, in an effort to include Peterborough in the equation, they rerouted the proposed route through the Lake Country between Peterborough and Ottawa, taking Kingston totally out of the equation and making it so that it could never be converted into a high-speed rail line because there isn't enough flat, straight length to ever make that possible.
Right.
And people are just scratching their heads going, that's like asking a vacation planner. Oh, this should be a good analogy, by the way, because I'm going on the fly.
Hold on, dude.
This would be like a vacation planner after finding out you want to go to California for a week, going, well, let's see. Well, if you went and stood out on Highway 2 at the south end of Calgary and put your thumb out, we could probably get you to the border of the U.S., and then from there we'll call an Uber in Great Falls and get you down to there, and then we'll fly you from Great Falls to Salt Lake City, and then Salt Lake City to Vegas, and then from Vegas, yeah, there should be enough illegal immigrant wagons, carrying illegal migrant workers around the southern part of Nevada and through the state of California to get you to San Diego. How does that sound to you? Instead of, no, how about I just jump on a fucking WestJet flight in Calgary and land 3 hours and 15 minutes later in San Diego?
What? Wow.
No, but seriously.
Yeah, no, I sort of get what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Sort of. Yeah.
It's like, let's stop fucking sabotaging the idea and just fucking do it. And because every time this happens, it ends up becoming more expensive because we could have done it 20 years ago, but we didn't. Could have done it 30 years ago, but we didn't. And now instead of costing $1 billion, it would cost 6 or 10 or 12. And because of that, it's just never going to get done. Oh, and then the best part was this was kind of like the sign off of the article. Oh, by the way, the guy who proposed this lame brain route that would service the corridor on a slightly modernized line that would service more cities, but still be as slow as molasses, is now working for the train company that only builds the slow trains.
Weird.
Yeah. So I found the article intriguing, interesting, informative, and so depressing because we could have great rail service. We used to have a lot of rail service in North America, period.
We did.
And now it's all fucking gone.
It is.
The best you can do is take a fucking vacation train, a sightseeing train from like Edmonton to Vancouver. And it takes like 3 days and it costs $8,000.
It's so much money.
And part of the reason, it's my understanding, is because the majority of the train lines now are completely controlled by the freight companies.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because even the sightseeing train, every time there's a freight train, they have to basically pull over and wait
Right.
until all the freight trains are done going by.
Yeah.
And if there's a problem, yeah, then you're totally hosed. Enjoy this view, because that's what you'll be looking at for the next 6 hours. Yeah. So that was an interesting thing that I discovered in the last month. How about you, Adam?
There was something at the beginning of the week
Oh, yeah.
that I was sort of getting into, and I'm like, oh shit, I'll have something to talk about on the next podcast. I don't know what the hell it was.
This is why we have phones, to take notes about stuff like this.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, that forgetting is going to get worse.
That's okay. I'm alright with that. Just...
Like, I am dependent on technology now, basically, to take over for the function my brain used to provide.
Right.
Up until now.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, that's it.
I started on my CPAP machine.
Oh.
That's been intriguing
Mm-hmm.
and interesting and informative.
That would be a real challenge for me because of how I sleep. I suffer from rotisserie chicken syndrome.
Yeah.
I'm constantly turning. And when you've got that shit on, those days are over. You can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I could handle that. Now, mind you, there are some who claim that the turning is a result of you stopping breathing in the middle of the night as it is. I'm not sure I buy that argument in my sick case because I'm doing it even before I'm fully asleep. I just can't stay comfortable in one position for long.
Mm.
So interesting.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, do you want to hear about my experience? Or
Yeah.
should we just talk about
Yeah,
how
no.
you can't use one?
Let's make this about me, even though I don't have one.
Yeah. What else do you have to add about that thing that you don't know about, Carl?
All right, so how was it?
It's good. It's weird. It's certainly weird. I went on. My appointment was on Monday with the respiratory clinic, and we reviewed my paperwork, and there was a summary of my results of my sleep test again,
Oh, yeah.
which said that I have 27 events an hour.
An hour.
An hour, yeah.
Jeez.
That's what. And that's high moderate. So the level is like 15 to 30 is moderate. So I'm right there. But the more concerning part is that my oxygen levels drop below 75% sometimes when I'm sleeping. And that's super bad. Super bad. It shouldn't go below 90. So that's really dangerous. So anyway, I got the machine to use for a month or so to figure out if it's the right kind, because my doctor isn't sure because of the results. He's not sure if I need a CPAP or a BiPAP. And
What's the difference?
the CPAP pressurizes as you breathe in, and a BiPAP pushes in and helps pull out.
Oh.
Got a full face mask, and then I went to sleep the first night, and I woke up feeling refreshed and stuff like that, and then quickly realized as the day progressed it was a psychosomatic response. Like, oh man, I fucking feel great.
Right.
Yeah.
But not really.
Not really.
Right.
I was excited about it changing my life because there's a number of things, like constantly being exhausted.
Do you find yourself
crabby.
falling asleep in your chair or whatever in the middle of the day, even like looking at stuff on a computer screen?
Yeah.
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 I have that problem at work,
Yeah. Like
especially
crazy.
after lunch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I nap every day.
Oh, yeah?
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love it, but I also hate it.
Right.
Right? But, so anyway, I did the machine, and it's got an app on it, so I can actually see that it scores you based on how long you had used it. Because a big part of CPAP usage that's important is consistency. It's you got to use it as often as possible for as long as possible to get the most results.
Well, I was under the impression you had to use it
Yeah.
all the time.
Right, but
Every
people,
time you go to bed.
But fucking people don't.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah, apparently
Oh.
people don't. I didn't really think that was a thing until they didn't tell me that, but
Yeah.
you just get that from the conversations.
Right.
But, and then it also measures how well the seal is around your mouth and how many events per hour, because this thing has some ability to determine how many events per hour you're experiencing.
And?
I went from 27, and I'm now averaging about half of an event an hour.
Half of one.
That's correct. Very significant change.
Yeah, I would say.
Very significant. So next week I actually do
Which
another...
begs the question, sorry,
Go ahead.
why don't you feel
Yeah, so that's...
so much better?
That's my question as well. And I'm struggling to get a really informed answer. I'm getting a you just want to know why you're still feeling tired, so I'm going to tell you that you're catching up on sleep or shit like that. I'm like, okay,
Which might hold some truth for
There's
the
not.
first week or two.
No,
But there are a lot of people that
is
say there's
so
no
mu-
such fucking
there's
thing
no
as
such thing as catching
on
up.
sleep.
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
So, but I was reassured by both the technicians at the place that sell this CPAP, but also a technician at the hospital, that the longer you have apnea, the longer it takes for you to start feeling better. And it could take you 2 months to
Right.
really start seeing results.
Right. Well,
But he
we'll
reassured
see.
me today, the guy, because I talked to him today. He's like, you complained about 5 things: snoring, napping, not waking up
Exhaustion.
refreshed,
yeah, exhaustion.
crabby, and I had spent the last week going, like, I'm debatably feeling more tired. Sometimes, like, I really want a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, have any of the things stopped? And I said, well, yeah, I'm not snoring anymore. And I'm not rolling around a whole bunch at night. I don't move.
But
I don't.
you used to.
Yeah. 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 I don't fucking
Interesting.
move.
Wonder if I'm going to need to use one of those things someday.
If you snore, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking get one. It'll be covered under your insurance. It's not a big deal.
Right.
You can just go to RHS. That's the place. It's in Crowfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll do the test for you for free. They'll contact your insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go to a sleep clinic to get one, unless you do. Right? Unless you have to get a prescription, but you can always try.
Mm.
But, yeah. And they're silent. They used to be fucking loud machines.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking silent. Silent.
Cool.
Yeah. So, it's annoying. It's not fun. It's not horrible, though.
Right.
Because it's not a machine that fucking pushes onto your face. It's a silicone mask that is intended to sit on your face. It creates a seal, but it doesn't push into you, so you don't wake
Yeah.
up with fucking lines on
Right.
your face and shit.
Cool.
There are different kinds. Like if you're a mouth breather, you're gonna need the full kit. If you're a nose breather, there are just nose ones.
Wow.
I guess. But I'm totally a mouth breather when
Yeah.
I sleep.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, so I'm a week down, and both of them, both the technician at the store and at the clinic, laughed at me because I was expressing concern that I'm not feeling better, and they're like, dude, you've been doing it a week. Like, well, why didn't you fucking assholes
Yeah,
tell me
like,
this? Like,
just
I have no idea.
Give me some expectations to frame this to. Yeah.
Because I had done,
I'm
I had created the
instant
analogy
relief.
of like hunger.
Yeah.
Because sleep is such a fundamental requirement for survival that I would think once you start getting proper sleep, your body is going to respond immediately. Just like when you're hungry, it immediately responds when you feed it. And neither of them could explain to me why that's not true. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll wait to see the fucking doctor, I guess. So, but they both said,
Amateurs.
yeah. The lady at the store said, there are some patients that go and feel better on the first night. We actually refer to them as unicorns. It doesn't ever happen. It takes a long time sometimes.
I'm a unicorn. What are you trying to say?
Yeah. I'm fabulous. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I probably do feel better, but I still have like these chronic pain issues that I'm having in a couple spots in my body, and it's hard to feel better when I fucking hurt all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see.
In fact,
So.
it could be the chronic pain that is interfering with your body's ability to get total quality sleep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because that's Darlene's problem. The pain, the neuropathy that she does feel is strong enough that unless she is beyond exhausted, she cannot fall asleep.
Right.
And she is quite fucking annoyed if anything interrupts it. Once she gets it, because it took so long to fucking get there in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately for me, I don't have any problems falling asleep.
Me neither.
And my pains, I think, are muscular. I got an ultrasound set up to see if I have kidney stones. So that's fun. But anyway, yeah, we'll see. I don't have any notions of stopping doing it. So that's that. My daughter started school.
Nice. How'd that go?
Great.
Yeah?
Great.
She loves it?
Yeah, the week before last, she went for an hour on Thursday, and then an hour on Friday. And then starting on Tuesday, she went for the 3 hours.
Cool.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I still
3
have to
hours.
check in with my granddaughter to find out how her new school is shaping up, because she spent the last 2 school years in Kamloops. Well, year and a half. She was enrolled in a very exclusive school in West Kelowna,
Yep.
Mount Boucherie High School, which I guess is really, really, you know,
Boucherie.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what Boucherie means, but it sounds like
Mount
what are you doing?
Boucherie is the name of the mountain
Oh.
that it's right up against
Oh, okay.
in West Kelowna, and
Did it burn down?
no,
Oh, there you go.
no, the fire did not cross the highway, thank goodness. In fact, I was getting a little bit worried when it first broke out, because they're only like a 10-minute drive from where those fires were. But it contained itself to that northwest section of the West Bank, north of the highway, and unfortunately took down mostly, like dream homes, retirement homes, vacation homes, from the top of the mountain down to the lake. And then crossed the lake, which blew my mind. When I heard that, I thought it was fake news. It was like, the fire has jumped the lake. And I'm like, no, it fucking didn't. And then I realized, they explained that the embers
Yeah, just caught over
just
ride.
caught a fucking ride on the
Yeah, it's
the
just
jet
so
stream
bone dry, right?
that fire created,
Yeah.
and just landed on the other side and went, hoo-hoo,
More.
yeah, more fuel, yippee. And then started fires on the goddamn east side of the lake, north of the city, thankfully. Because, man, if it had hit downtown Kelowna, gone. But yeah.
Yeah, not this year. Maybe next.
Well, I mean,
It's gonna happen.
all the homes up along the hillside all around Kelowna have gone down in
And won't be coming
previous
back.
years. Oh no, they rebuilt those dumb sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Obviously got more money than they know what to do with.
Insurance is a hell of a thing.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the thing about fire. That's pretty standard on insurance, right? My house
Yellowknife,
burned
they're
down. There you
just
go.
starting to go back to Yellowknife now.
Yeah, they are.
Just.
Yeah, like yesterday
Yep.
or the day before.
Yeah. They had to make sure that all the services were running and the hospitals were open and the grocery stores were stocked. It's like, fuck, it's a lot of work getting a city back up and running again.
Yeah.
And that's only a city of like 20,000 people.
Yep. Yeah. Going back, not knowing if your fucking house is there.
Nope.
No thanks.
Nope.
No thanks.
Mind you, the fire didn't come within a kilometer of the
Right.
city. They were spared,
But lots of people weren't.
but on the outskirts,
Yeah.
outside the city limits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a gong show. But yeah. And it's like with all the smoke that we had to breathe this summer, I'm starting to see the phenomenon of it's become normalized now.
Right. You talked about that last time about people in Kelowna normalizing it.
Yeah,
Yeah. And now people here are absolutely.
yeah. It's just like, oh, I guess this is
Yeah.
the new normal.
I can't. My nose and throat are on fucking fire, and
Yeah.
I'm sucking back on my Ventolin like it's going out of style.
When I'm
smoky.
outside driving or walking in the smoke, my head feels like a fever.
Oh, okay. Ouch.
It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's the weirdest thing.
Breathing in fucking benzene. It's
Yeah.
a real good time. Fuck, man. So
I know.
bad.
It's just, and like the experts were saying, okay, you think fall is here now, it's all going to stop. Nope. It may even still be burning in places even after the snow flies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get fires. Lots of other places are getting a little too much water.
Just a tad. Yeah, like,
Feet
float the
of
car,
it.
watch the car float away.
Yeah.
Maybe you're still in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Feet of water.
I know.
It's nuts.
Like, I almost can't wait to go back to San Diego to hook up with my coffee clutch there that I
Right.
talked to in the morning to go, so, how was that little hurricane that passed through in fucking August? Was that
hurricane.
yeah.
Like there's not
In
hurricanes
California.
over
No.
No?
That is
That's
a
not how the
rarity.
jet streams work.
No.
But I guess they do now.
It's not a thing under normal circumstances.
Thanks a lot, Suncor.
In fact, I can remember, like, of all the time, like, we've been to San Diego, and I'm not bragging. We've been to San Diego like 14 times, and I can't recall hardly any times where there was any rain at all. Like, at all. The entire visit. And, you start talking to people about, so when was the last time it rained? Oh, fuck, it's been like 9 months or whatever, right? And then one visit, showed up the night, we landed the day before, we checked in, blah, blah, got up the next morning, went to go visit all my coffee friends at the place next door. And hey, Canada's here. That's who brought the goddamn rain, because it had just rained a half hour before I got there for about 15 minutes. And I swear to God, the demeanor among the people was like somebody had set fire to the fucking brush and everyone's lives were at risk. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? Well, it rained, man. And I'm like, yeah, but like for 15 minutes. And they go, no, you don't understand. It hasn't rained here in 8 months. When it rains here, it's a huge deal because the landscape isn't designed to absorb the water.
Right.
The streets start filling and the storm drains start gurgling and, beyond a certain amount of water, the system just goes
Yeah.
and everybody just starts losing their minds. And then, minutes later, you start seeing rivers form on the beach where
So it
there
turns
was
into
once
storm
only
drains.
once only sand, and it's fucking gross because it's all soapy sudsy because of all the shit that's been on the road for the last 9 months.
Yep.
It's finally getting washed away.
Yep.
And so when I saw that this hurricane was about to pass through, and they were talking about the direction it was headed, and that these are the places that are going to get nailed with water, if not water and high wind, and I was just like, ooh. But San Diego didn't get it very bad. It's places further inland that really got inundated. And just like Arizona, places in Arizona and Palm Springs where the ground just has no ability to absorb water whatsoever.
Yeah.
It just, everything just turns into a massive fucking river.
Yeah.
Or lake, or both.
Like
It's
Burning Man.
crazy. Hey?
Like Burning Man.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
Burning Man turned into a mud fucking party.
Oh man.
How
week.
deep was the water? Like 3 or 4 inches
Yeah.
throughout the whole place?
Yeah.
Nobody was expecting that when they set up camp.
No. The year I went.
Oh, did you go to Burning Man?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jealous.
Mm-hmm. You should be. It was wild.
Yeah, I bet.
It's phenomenal.
I bet.
The year we went, it rained briefly
Right.
on the last day, the day we were leaving. And they halted all the traffic. No one can go anywhere.
Right. Because it's just too damn dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll destroy the ground for one.
Yep.
And two, if you get stuck, then everybody.
That's right.
Yeah. it's
Everybody's
bad.
screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were there for a week.
Huh.
6 days or something. So 2 weeks of Burning Man.
Yeah.
That would be a lot. No services. No services.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine I don't know what the porta potties were like.
Oh, God. I can't even imagine.
No, because you can't get vehicles in to
No.
dump them.
No.
Because the porta potty situation was phenomenal at Burning Man.
Is that right, eh?
Phenomenal. Twice a day they were emptied.
Yeah.
And
Neat.
6 days. Like, there's no way. Like, there's got to be people who have got dysentery and, like, real problems.
I imagine.
Real problems.
I imagine.
Oof. Yuck. Because you can't help but walk in it because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Unless you've got an RV or something that's lifted on the ground.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, if you're in a tent, it would not be a pleasant experience.
Well, you couldn't be. You couldn't be in a tent. You would have to buddy up. You couldn't sleep.
No,
in
yeah,
3
no,
inches
I
of
know.
water, right?
But I
Like,
mean,
you
if
would
that's
be-
all you came with is
Yeah.
a tent in your vehicle.
Well, you're sleeping in your vehicle,
That's
I guess.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard any horror stories yet. I think it's early.
Yeah, I'm
Not
sure there'll be
everybody's home
YouTube
yet.
videos any day now. When everybody gets home and sorts out what they want to share and what they don't want to
Yeah.
share.
I can't imagine what Reno's like right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The weather is just
Bad.
bad, period.
It's bad right now.
Yeah.
Like everywhere.
And the experts just keep saying, hey, listen, we told you,
Strap in.
strap in, it's going to get worse.
Including the cold.
And this winter, I think, is going to be a pretty wild one for us
Wouldn't
because
it
the El Nino La Nina cycle,
Mm-hmm.
apparently, whatever it's coming into now, I think it's El Nino,
Mm-hmm.
is a weird one, an anomalous version of El Nino. So they're saying
Maybe
because
lots of snow or no snow.
because of the extreme amount of heated water in the Pacific contributing to normal El Nino cycle, coupled with the extreme amount of hot water in the other ocean as well, way higher than it's ever been, that's really going to create an unknown set of circumstances that could just, like, if you know, if you're looking for extreme, you might experience it even more this winter because the weather will just be totally,
Fucked.
yeah. A lot of, what do you call it? The stuff that happens behind a plane with the air?
Turbulent.
Yeah, turbulence. There'll be too much turbulence in the jet stream. And yeah, shit tends to go pretty sideways when that happens. When the jet stream is stable, at least you know where you're at. So if you're north of it, it's going to be cold. If you're south of it, you're going to be fine. It's going to be warm and a little bit moist. But when the jet stream is starting to do, you know, fucking crazy eights, that's when bad things happen and you get like the freak snowstorm of 1996.
Oh, yeah.
Or 1995, I remember that, because I was still living on the base in Calgary, and it snowed so deep nobody could actually get onto the road.
Right. Yep.
Nobody, unless they were on one of them jacked up gun rack on the back trucks,
Right.
monster
Monster trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the only people who made it to work.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. We'll see.
And I was just like, it was like my second or third winter here. I'd spent an entire winter, the winter of 94, 95. I had no idea what to expect. And this is what I got. It snowed, and then a Chinook came. And the snow was gone. And then it snowed some more. And I went, oh, okay, well, look, it's staying this time. And it snowed a little bit more. And then another big Chinook came, and the snow was gone. And it did that all winter long.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time winter was over, I was like, dude,
Nice.
this is winter in Calgary? All right, I could deal with this. The next winter? Oh my God. November hit, it started snowing, it started accumulating, not a Chinook in sight. December came, we got a 3.5 week -30 spell. Oh yeah, by the end of that winter I was just like, hey, I want my money back.
Yeah, right.
I was sold a fucking bag of goods there last winter. And it haven't really been a lot of winters like that since.
Not dumps of snow, but
Well,
we're getting...
I mean the constant Chinooks.
Oh.
I haven't experienced a winter in probably 10 years that didn't have a regular reappearance of Chinooks over the entire winter, keeping the snow depth
Yeah,
relatively
you might be right.
small.
Yeah, you might be right.
It's been a while. So yeah,
I find it
things
to
have
be...
changed.
God, we're just
Things have
fucking
changed.
two old dudes talking about the weather.
I know, right?
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, everyone listening. Fuck. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
All right.
I've talked myself right out of it.
Fine.
I don't really have anything else to contribute to if I can change the subject.
Oh, wow.
But,
That's helpful.
Yeah, I know. But
Let me see what I got.
angry man yells at cloud.
Well, everything I've got left is basically boils down to Rant City.
Rant City!
City! You've noticed the road improvements, the sidewalk and shit that's going on across the street from my house?
I don't know if I'd call them improvements, but I see there is work.
So, did I ever tell you the back story behind that whole area in front of my house?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the last thing that I told you about it was they decided to make it permanent, right?
Yep.
And they were going to tear up that asphalt covered triangle that used to be a road and a median, and they were going to re-sidewalk and curb the whole enchilada in partnership with the schedule that involved repaving the entire neighborhood from one end to the other, which is now mostly done. Everything north of everything north of 16th Avenue all the way up to almost the top of the hill has been completely repaved. So, when they started digging up the asphalt around here with their little scraper thing that they use to recycle asphalt, I'm like, ooh, they're getting a little ahead of themselves here, because they haven't even poured any of the sidewalks or even dug up the triangle that needs to be completely reshaped and curbed and sidewalked in the whole 9 yards. But, maybe they're just getting ahead of the game and blah, 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 and they'll just save the paving of our area to last. Nope. They ended up paving, but instead of doing 2 coats like they did for the rest of the neighborhood, they stopped in our general vicinity of the intersection with just 1 coat of asphalt. And I don't know if you've ever seen what the first coat of an asphalt paving looks like. It's not pretty because it's rough. There's a lot of pebbling and stuff, and it looks like it could fall apart if you drove over it 5 or 6 times. It's really kind of shitty and very obvious that they're not done. But then nothing happened. And so we're thinking, fuck, are we going to be stuck with this half-finished paved job until they get around to pouring new sidewalks and curbs and everything else? And then they finally started coming around and digging everything up and painting and measuring and indicating where the new curb and the new sidewalk would be. And then they poured. And when they stopped pouring, the entire neighborhood, especially the guys, were all gawking at the finished job because the level of the curb and the sidewalk is in some places a full 1.5 feet below the level of the asphalt of the road.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I saw that.
And everyone's looking at it going, what the hell? And so I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it from different angles. And I finally think I come to the conclusion of what's going on. Because they can't be that fucking stupid that they would, accidentally lay down the new curb and sidewalk on that side of the street too low on purpose. So I finally looked at it and I started talking to the guys in the neighborhood and I said, I think I know what's going on here. And they're like, well, what's that? And I said, well, you got to remember, I said, this road leading down towards us is a gradual hill. It's a slope. And all the water runs down that street on both curbs against the sidewalk and eventually ends up in a storm drain. The thing is, on the park side of that street, that used to be a straight through, and now it's not. Now there's nothing. It's blocked. Before, it was just blocked with little pieces of concrete. Now it's completely dug up. And they didn't put in a new storm drain there. So now the water's got to come all the way around to the intersection, and then all the way around the intersection, and join back up with the original curb where there's a storm drain. And it can't, because that side of the intersection is way too high. Mm-hmm. The water would just pool there. It always has. It always has pooled there because it's got nowhere to go. It's trapped in a kind of a little plateau. So they're going to have to shave the road down so that the water's got somewhere to go and can follow the contour of that new intersection to where the next drain is. And then when they do that, there will be a gradual downslope for the water to follow. That's the only thing I can come up with. So everyone's placed their bets. And we'll see whether my theory is true.
They don't have long to fucking finish it, though.
Well, that's just it. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're waiting for because, school's back in and it's a high traffic intersection again and
it's going to start getting cold.
It's going to start raining more often and the water's going to start pooling and it's going to pool in the space between the foot and a half high street and the fucking foot and a half below concrete gut,
Yep.
gutter.
And really, it won't be long until that water then freezes.
Right.
Like, we're halfway through September.
Yeah. 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 So they need to get a move on.
Or wait till next year.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's not the case.
Rant City!
Rant City! Your turn.
Rants?
That wasn't really a rant. That was really more an observation of how messed up that process was.
A little.
Really befuddled everybody. We could care less. It's kind of amusing, actually. We just can't believe how out of sync everything seemed. But, third-party contractors versus the city.
I wouldn't even say versus. The city's not any better.
No, that's true.
No, those third-party contractors
probably
are
do
working
a better
for
job.
the city.
Yeah.
So they're waiting on the city. They're told when to jump.
That's right.
Yeah, no.
It was funny, though, because while one of the crews were out there, they had already had everything was dug up and the forms were laid. And I figured, well, it should just be a matter of time now before they pour the concrete. So I went up to one of the workers. He was sitting in the cab of the truck of the contracting company, and I said, "So when do you think all that's going to be ready to pour?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know, man. They gotta compact the dirt under where the concrete's going to go and stuff." He goes, "It could be a few weeks." And I said, "Oh yeah, a few weeks, eh?" And he goes, "Oh, don't worry." He goes, "It'll all be done by the time the snow flies." And I said, "Is that a promise?" And he started laughing, eh? Mm-hmm. The next day they poured the concrete. So he was just...
He had no idea.
He had no idea. Everybody's just following orders and nobody knows what the next monkey's going to be doing or when. Yeah, but it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch. The school is starting to really shape up nice.
Yeah, it's almost done.
Interior
It looks like
lights
it.
are on now in parts of it. It's going to be something else. The old building at the north end is slowly coming down. I was wondering what was taking them so long to demolish.
Asbestos.
No, that part had already been done. They had already or mitigated, or whatever the fuck it is they call it when they
Yeah.
get rid of all the hazardous material, including mercury.
Right.
It was because they're recycling all the material
Oh, interesting.
by category.
Right.
So they're separating out the metal and the wood and the plaster and the bricks, and it's all being recycled.
Interesting.
So that's what's taken them so long.
Yeah, because you're not smashing. You're
No,
just.
you're just digging at it,
Yeah.
making a pile and separating it and then moving on to the next pile. Yeah, but it's going to look pretty phenomenal when it's done. It's going to look pretty phenomenal. The people who run the school have promised that once the school is finished and open, they want to be better custodians of their facilities with regards to making it available to the community. So, if they follow through on that, I'd like to start running evening classes for the community in that school. You know, talk about things like online security and that kind of thing. Because the sophistication of spamming or scamming and phishing is going to get worse now because of AI. Criminals are going to start leveraging AI to make their bait that much more believable, I think.
So would you call it that they're going to start having master bait? Yes. Yes.
All right, I'll give you that one. Yes. You could say that, but you shouldn't.
I will. Well, check out this fishing email.
Hey,
It's
look
full
at
of
this.
master baits.
Yeah. Yeah. There's amateur bait and then there's master bait.
Look at all this master bait.
Who wants a cookie? God. Leave it to Adam. Leave it to Adam. Yeah, we'd gone a full hour without talking about anything related to the penis. And then fucking, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
Not to be sexist,
And with that, I think we will call it an episode.
Oh. No, it's not working.
No, it's not. I've never tried that on a coffee mug. The opening is just too large.
That's what you said.
Oh no, you beat me to it.
Yeah, well. My master bait.
There you go. See you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, 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 bye.